Morning. I hereby call to order this 14th meeting of the Pennsylvania Public Utility Commission for the year 2017 and ask that you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The first matter on this morning's agenda to address is the approval of the minutes for the meeting of August 3rd, 2017, and I will look to Commissioner Coleman, who is the editor.
Thank you, Madam Chairman. I've reviewed the minutes of the August 3rd, 2017 public meeting and move they be approved as submitted.
You have heard the motion to approve the August 3rd, 2017 minutes. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Sweet. Is there any discussion, further edits? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0. Now we'll call on our Director of the Office of Special Assistance, Cheryl Walker Davis, to lead us through today's very long agenda.
Good morning, Madam Chairman and Commissioners.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I will speak very slowly this morning. May it please this honorable commission, on behalf of your various offices and bureaus, we present for your consideration and disposition the following agenda items, commencing this morning with matters on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance. It is recommended that the commission adopt the items, commencing with that appearing at the top of page 1 involving the application of Amigo Cab LLC, continuing with the remaining item on page 1 as well as the items appearing on pages 2, 3, 4, and 5 through and including the recommendation pertaining to the joint petition for approval of interconnection agreement of Verizon Pennsylvania LLC and Airbus DS Communications, Inc.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Sweet. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
Turning now to matters presented on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, commencing on page 6 of the public meeting agenda, it is recommended that the commission adopt matters commencing with that appearing in the proceeding involving the electric generation supplier license cancellations, continuing with the remaining 2 items on page 6, as well as all items appearing on pages 7 and 8, through and including the application of Gold Star Energy LLC to commence services as an electric generation supplier.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sweet, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
And now turning to matters presented on behalf of the Law Bureau, commencing on page 9 of the public meeting agenda, it is recommended that the commission adopt the 3 recommendations appearing on page 9 through and including that in the matter pertaining to the Susquehanna Valley Taxi Service petition for approval to use an alternative device to traditional mechanical meters in its vehicles.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sweet, second by Vice Chairman Place. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
And now turning to matters presented on behalf of the Office of Administrative Law Judge, it is recommended that the commission adopt ALJ Cheskis's recommended decision in the matter involving Whitehall Township versus R.J. Corman Railroad.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendations? Recommendation?
So moved.
I heard motion by Commissioner Sweet, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
And it is recommended that the commission adopt ALJ Heap's recommended decision recommending adoption of a complete settlement in the matter involving the PECO Energy Company distribution system improvement charge matter.
Is there a motion to adopt the staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sweet, second by Vice Chairman Place. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
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 Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
And now, turning to page 11, continuing with Office of Administrative Law Judge matters. With regard to the matter pertaining to Juan Hui Ren versus Philadelphia Gas Works, Juan Hui Ren appellee versus Philadelphia Gas Works appellant, there is the motion of Commissioner Sweet.
Is there a motion to call up the matter for consideration?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Coleman. Under discussion, I will call on Commissioner Sweet for his motion.
Thank you. This matter before us is the initial decision ID of Administrative Law Judge Angela T. Jones, ALJ, which upholds Philadelphia Gas Works, PGW's claim of meter tampering, but reduces the time period for which the landlord is held to be responsible. As the time period is reduced, then the amount due for unbilled use also needs to be adjusted. In her ordering paragraphs, the ALJ directed PGW to have the Commission's Bureau of Technical Utility Services verify the correctness of its recalculation before billing the customer. Consistent with Commission practice, a better course of action is to direct PGW to calculate and bill the correct amount to the complainant in this proceeding. Also, the company is directed to use the stated amount as the payment due before PGW will restore service to the residents. Therefore, I move that 1, the Commission's final order directing Philadelphia Gas Works to calculate the correct amount that it may require Guan Hui Ren pay as prerequisite to restoration of gas service to the subject residents. Secondly, the Office of Special Assistance prepare an order consistent with this motion. Thank you.
You have heard the motion to amend this case. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Chairman Place. On the motion, any discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0. On the matter as amended, if there's no objection, we'll take the previous roll call. Seeing none, the matter as amended passes 4-0.
With that concluding the presentation of regular agenda items, we now turn to the carry-in agenda. It is recommended on behalf of the Office of Special Assistance that the Commission adopt the recommendations in the matters involving the application of PennDOT seeking approval for the alteration of a crossing in York County, the recommendation in the matter involving the Rapid Transit, Inc. Petition for rescission of commission order, as well as the recommendation on reconsideration of the UGI Distribution System Improvement Charge proceeding.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendations?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Vice Chairman Place, second by Commissioner Coleman. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
And on behalf of the Bureau of Technical Utility Services, it is recommended that the Commission approve the recommendation with regard to Level 3 Communications application for expanded authority to provide services as a competitive local exchange carrier.
Is there a motion to adopt staff recommendation?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Sweet, second by Vice Chairman Place. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The motion passes 4-0.
Madam Chairman and Commissioners, that does conclude the presentation of agenda items this morning.
Thank you. Before we close out, would like to make a few remarks in recognition of First Responders Appreciation Day. As you know, working to restore power and investigate explosions and keep the public safe in the wake of major disasters is a team effort. A major part of that team includes the first responders who risk their own personal safety in the execution of their duties to protect the public every day. And we are proud to join the Pennsylvania Governor's Office in recognizing First Responders Appreciation Day on September 27. And it's not just a Pennsylvania issue, we know that. We have seen recently with the devastating hurricanes and the tropical storms just this month, recovering from a large-scale outage takes an equally large-scale response. In response to the hurricanes, hundreds of Pennsylvania utility crews have traveled south to restore service to residents and businesses in hard-hit communities. It's a challenging task, and the work is going to continue for weeks and months. Additionally, we wish to recognize our own PUC employees who handle electric safety, pipeline safety, rail safety, and motor carrier enforcement, along with our own emergency preparedness team who are deployed when the worst of it happens. These are the first responders who are a vital part of our communities and stand ready 24 hours a day to deal with emergencies, and we just want to thank them for all that they have done. Want to recognize Vice Chairman Place as well.
Thank you, Chairman. I did want to add a personal note. I'm careful not to imply that empathy, compassion, and comprehension are not possible from distance, whether it's Harrisburg or anywhere else in this Commonwealth. But as chance had it, I was in Charleston, South Carolina with my father before, during, and after Irma. And not only was it an object lesson in the ferocity of these events, we were 200 miles, given that we were 200 miles from the center of the storm, and a day or so after the diminution of the storm as its first impact in the Keys and in South Florida. But it was also an object lesson in the human cost and stress of these events of that kind of scale. Fuel was scarce, traffic along the I-95 corridor was ceaseless, both before and after the storm. You know, cars traveling back and forth with jerry cans on the roof, and the fuel trucks hustling to get fuel to all these affected areas, and the endless lines of utility crews moving south. Homes and businesses evacuated, boarded up, and sandbagged. I made the mistake of thinking I could go to the bank Monday morning, and the door was sandbagged. It was sort of the international sign that the bank is closed. Yeah, and as I said, to me, I was in South Louisiana after Katrina, and some of this was a sort of a flashback to that time. But and maybe it's my own lack of creativity or imagination, but as the bank case implies. But when you're there and you're seeing this, and you're seeing it perhaps with my elderly father and their community, and the 75 miles of traffic on I-26 trying to get on I-95 going south as the Floridians were moving back 2 or 3 days later to see what was left of their homes and their lives, it is hard not to overstate the impact and the human cost of that, but also for the efforts of the crews that go down. You're not going down into a typical day at your office. You're going down for days away from your family, perhaps living in a tent city with scarce resources, restaurants, utilities, a place to live. You may be living in a tent city, and you're going into this stressful and ongoing disaster. So absolutely worthy of note, and very much worthy of gratitude from myself, I think, and I speak for all of us, I'm sure, of what they go through and that they voluntarily go down and do this time after time. So with that, I wanted to thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Place. Is there anything else to come before the commission at this time? Hearing that, without objection, meeting is adjourned.